When I come to stop signs, I have to look at him while I'm stationary for fear that someone's going to come up and take him, you know, open the door. I have to start the car before I take my eyes off him. Ah! When I'm moving, I figure nobody can get to him.
El instinto maternal de Stephanie está trabajando de más. Se trata de un trastorno obsesivo-compulsivo que afecta a algunas madres.
Don't like it, don't like it, don't like it. Just doesn't like. Okay.
Okay. To set this trap, I'm going to use a video cassette, which I shall lean against the door. Then I'm going to take this pen and line it up along the green rectangle. And I'm going to point this napkin so the edge, if you follow it with your eye, matches up with the corner of my wall.
Stephanie teme que alguien se lleve a Jake, incluso estando en casa, bajo llave y con las alarmas activadas.
I'm not sure if somebody might have gotten in the house while I wasn't here, so I'll set a trap. I will set things up at a certain angle that if they're moved, I'll know it. It's so pathetic.
For a walk?
Stephanie sabe que su forma de pensar es irracional, pero no puede evitarlo. Proteger a Jake de cualquier amenaza concebible le ha generado grandes inconvenientes.
Get your stick. When I can't take my eyes off Jake, it's literal. I stare at him. If I glance away, even like this, it's a chance for something to happen. He has to be in front of me so that I can see him the entire time, so that if somebody walks by, I know that they aren't going to bump him, spit on him, grab him, touch him, inject him with something, whatever, take him.
Al igual que muchas personas con trastornos obsesivo-compulsivos, Stephanie teme a la contaminación. En la calle evita que las ruedas del coche de su niño toquen cualquier desecho o mancha. Los transeúntes representan una doble amenaza, ya que podrían raptar a Jake o contaminarlo.
Just need to make sure nobody was near him. Cigarette? If I looked away, I'll have to turn my stroller around, look behind me to see if anybody was in the area, but then I worry that maybe I took my eyes off him while I was checking to see if anybody was behind us. So I'll turn back around, and then I'll turn back around the other way, and I'll just spin around in circles until I feel relatively sure that it's okay. Sometimes it's hard for me to go for a walk because I can never get home, because I'm constantly having to turn around and go the other way because there's somebody coming. If somebody's walking towards me, then I get frantic.
No, that's... please keep him on a leash.
And it's a fear of never knowing if he was contaminated. It's like I'll never know if that person who walked by touched him. And that will eat away at me.
Hay una amenaza por la que Stephanie siente una particular obsesión.
If I had to be specific, I would say AIDS is probably my #1 fear, or anything that's contracted through bodily fluids. You process everything that could possibly happen, all the scenarios that could possibly happen. Let's say someone brushes against you in a crowd. It could have been an accident. Could have been on purpose. The person could have an infectious disease. The person could have had a cut on their hand. You could have a cut on your hand, and they could have a cut in the hand, and the two cuts could have brushed against each other at that exact moment. That person could have just come from the bathroom and never washed their hands. Maybe that it could go on and on. I'll get them in a second.
Stephanie ya había sido diagnosticada como obsesiva compulsiva antes de que naciera Jake. Su higiene enfermiza la impulsa a completar ritos compulsivos que la ayudan a controlar la ansiedad.
When I am going to interact with Jake in some way, I have to be certain my hands have been just cleaned. And they have to be scoured clean.
El impulso de llevar a cabo estos ritos es tan fuerte que Stephanie se ha lavado las manos 22 veces en apenas media hora.
It's torturous. I wash my hands continuously. I know I try to stop myself, but it's almost like my feet begin moving for the sink, and I'm trying to tell myself not to do it, but I'm desperate and I have to.
El lavado mismo es un ritual complejo que debe realizarse correctamente unas 3 veces.
I have to lather up my hands completely, drawing my fingers through my other hand. The water has to be as hot as it can be. I start with my forefinger and scrape under my left thumb, and then I switch to my thumbnail and go to my forefinger, the middle finger, ring finger, and then I get to the pinky and I switch to this hand and go back and forth several times, and that just gets the first layer of contamination off, because I still feel, since I scraped under my nails, that it's somewhere on me. So I have to get another pump and do it all over again. And this is really the one that I feel cleans me, because now my nails are clean and now I'm just going to scrub my hands. And then I have to do a finishing rinse. This is the part that's hard because the water's really hot, burning, but sometimes I keep my hands under there just to feel better. And then I get my towel, and I will be careful not to touch the garbage when I put this in, so I have to, oh, and it touched my hand, so I'm back. But it dries your hands out and your hands crack, and then it gets to the point where I can't close them more than this because the knuckles will crack open and bleed.
It's always been there. It's been noticeable, but it's been manageable. We could joke about it, we could kid her about it, we could do things, you know, to set her off, but it wasn't an issue until Jake was born, our son Jake. Since then, it's been uncontrollable.
El miedo a los gérmenes ha terminado afectando los demás aspectos de su vida. La casa entera es sometida a un ritual de descontaminación tan estricto como el que aplica Stephanie en sí misma.
I have to clean in a certain way, and I start at the front door and I work backward. Once I start cleaning, I can't stop. And I have to decontaminate in the perfect way, like nothing can go wrong. If it does, the contamination jumps to something else. It's really frightening when something gets contaminated, because you know it's only a matter of time before it takes over everything.
Antes, Stephanie y las personas como ella solo habrían sido consideradas peculiares. Hoy, gracias a las modernas técnicas de visualización, podemos saber qué sucede en el cerebro. Al parecer, la región frontal del cerebro advierte que hay algo sucio en el ambiente y envía una señal a otra parte llamada núcleo caudado, el cual activa el impulso de limpiar.